Gio goes to the hospital for her checkup, and the doctor tells her that they can remove her cast and replace it with a splint next week. This makes her incredibly happy. Afterward, she sits in the open area of the hospital, feeling relaxed. Suddenly, someone comes from behind and places a Coke can on her head. Startled at first, she turns around to see that it's Giol. She jokingly asks if he was following her, and he replies that he was probably there first. She then asks if he is sick, but he tells her that it's actually his grandmother who is unwell. Both of them sit there quietly, and Gio thinks that for someone who approaches her so easily, he doesn't talk much. She feels a little distant from him and observes that he seems mature for his age, leading her to assume that he must have complicated circumstances. Out of nowhere, he tells her that his grandmother is hospitalized with angina and that he has no other family besides her. Gio is surprised, wondering if she had unknowingly spoken her thoughts out loud. However, Giol tells her that if she's curious, she can just ask him. So she asks if angina is dangerous. He explains that his grandmother is going to undergo surgery and that it's pretty serious. From his tone, it seems like he has already prepared himself for the worst. Gio doesn't know how to comfort others, so she simply places her hand over his. He asks if she is trying to comfort him, and she becomes slightly flustered. Then, with a small smile, he tells her to be a little more generous before leaning his head on her shoulder. A week later, at a playground, Ujin and his friends are hanging out and waiting for Giol. Ujin, uninterested, says that he doesn't care and just wants to find something fun to do. Then he spots Seo walking toward them. He tells Seo to go back and asks if he's messing around with them since Giol had supported him before. Seo replies that he doesn't even know Giol. Ujin then asks him to come closer and once again questions whether he truly doesn't know Giol. Seo insists that he does not. Ujin, now confused, wonders why Giol acted that way if he had nothing to do with Seo. Meanwhile, Gio is walking home from the hospital when she hears a commotion coming from the playground. She finds Seo there and angrily gestures for him to come to her. He quickly runs over, telling her to leave, but she smacks him with her crutches and demands to know who the other guys are. Just then, Ujin steps out. The moment she sees him, chills run down her spine. She recognizes him from her dream. She grabs onto Seo's shirt, her grip tightening as he tells Ujin that she is his sister. Now, Ujin also recognizes her from the storage room and, smiling, remarks that the two of them look alike. After they leave, Gio asks Seo who that guy was, mentioning that she has seen him before, muttering to herself that he was the guy from her dream. She wonders what the reason was behind his fight with Giol. The next day at school, Gio sits at her desk, holding her head. She wonders whether the fight she saw in her dream will actually happen and what is really going on between her and Giol. Her thoughts then drift to Unsu. At that moment, the girl who had been gossiping earlier enters the classroom with her friends. They approach Gio, and the girl says that if she were in her position, she would have told everyone about what happened. Gio doesn't understand what they are talking about. Then, Unsu enters the class, and the atmosphere grows tense. Unsu notices it too. A moment later, Giseong walks in and asks Unsu to step outside for a talk. After they leave, the girls tell Gio that they heard Unsu had locked her in the storage room. Gio is shocked. How do they know about that when she hasn't even told Giseong? She is about to say that it isn't certain when, suddenly, Unsu barges back into the classroom, calling out for Hyoyeon, her friend. She demands to know if Hyoyeon was the one who spread the rumor, but when Hyoyeon denies it, Unsu immediately turns to Gio, accusing her instead. Gio thinks to herself she hates Unsu. Unsu hates her too. It's because they are alike, especially in their inferiority complexes, and that's why they hurt each other. She firmly replies that she wasn't the one who spread the rumor, but adds that a rumor like that wouldn't have spread without a reason. The two of them start arguing, tension rising. They come face to face, and due to Gio's provocation, Unsu pushes her. Without thinking, Gio reacts and slaps Unsu across the face. The moment it happens, she freezes. A dreadful realization sinks in. She is doomed.